Let's talk about this Larry Wheels situation, but not in the way that you've maybe seen all over social media. If you follow any fitness accounts, I'm sure you've heard of this, and I don't want to retread the same ground.
I got contracts, I got conversations, I got text messages. I got it all.
There is a really important lesson in what's been happening with the Larry Wheels situation. And this applies to so many men and how we relate to our own desires, how we relate to sexual repression and sexual expression, and how it all turns into addiction. As a very brief summary of what is the situation. So it turns out that Larry Wheels, one of the biggest, most successful fitness influencers around, has made an absolute fortune, but is also in trouble and in debt because apparently he's blown all his money on what is basically a sex addiction or a porn addiction.
I make 5 figures a day. A day? 5 figures a day.
I have been spending any and every last bit of extra money that I have come in monthly on campsites, leaving me with nothing every month. I had no savings, I had nothing for my future, and in the last 6 months in a negative balance.
So this is someone making more than $10,000 per day, and yet he managed to go broke, spending all his money on OnlyFans and that kind of thing. Let me be clear, I am not here to point fingers or to shame him or to make fun of him or anything like that. I know full well that this is a real and serious addiction and that things like pornography and OnlyFans can get their hooks deep into the male psyche. Through my programs and coaching, I've worked with hundreds of people on porn addiction, so I know the many different ways in which this can become a really serious problem. And Larry is just one of the many, many victims of this. But here's why this story in particular is interesting and important. It shines a light on an aspect that most of us are just in denial of. Think about it. Larry Wheels, first of all, he looks like this. This guy has basically the perfect physique. He is almost absurdly muscular. This is what so many guys go to the gym for every day, hoping to achieve something like this. He has that dream physique, and he's tall, and he's handsome, and he's rich, and he's successful, and yet he still fell into a really serious addiction spiral with something that some people even deny is a real addiction, right? Just because it's not in the DSM or whatever, people will say, it's not a real addiction. It's a real addiction. And the thing about addiction is that it is a coping mechanism. Addiction is something that we find that briefly takes the pain away. It could be the pain of low self-esteem. It could be the pain of heartbreak from a breakup. It could be the pain of loneliness and isolation. It could be any kind of pain, any kind of emotional, mental pain that you want to escape. Addiction is what we reach for because it briefly makes us feel better. But unfortunately, it never actually solves the problem. So if I'm fapping to porn, then I feel better for a while, but afterwards I actually feel worse than before. And whatever pain I was escaping, loneliness, low self-worth or whatever, is still there afterwards, which means I keep needing more and more. In addition to that, the addiction fries my dopamine receptors, basically making me less and less sensitive to pleasurable and rewarding input, which means that now I feel even worse, which means that I have even more reason to want more and higher stimulation from my only source of comfort, which is my addiction. That is the spiral, and that's how it keeps getting worse. Now here's the thing that you need to pay attention to. Most men believe that all of our problems will be solved if only we were rich, ripped, successful, good looking. Am I right or am I right? I mean, how many guys are just grinding, looking for the best workout program, the looks maxing thing, the fastest way to make money with e-commerce or day trading or whatever. You're basically on the grind pursuing exactly these things, and you believe that that will solve your problems. Well, it turns out here's the perfect example to show you this will not solve your problems. It's important to acknowledge this because you can keep yourself in the loop of your addiction and at the same time stay in the loop of delusion. Because you can always tell yourself, oh, well, if only I was even better looking. Once I have visible abs, once I have 20-inch biceps or whatever, right? Once I have some kind of a goal achieved, once I have this number in my bank account, then I won't need this anymore. Then I won't have these problems anymore. Then I won't feel worthless anymore. I won't have these emotions inside that keep driving me towards my addictive behavior. And that is simply not true. Your emotional internal sources of pain are not healed by achieving external things out in the world. This is why Quit by Healing is about healing. It's about going directly to the source, about finding out what is going on with me, what is the pain I'm trying to escape with my addiction, and how can I heal it directly. And if you're new here and you're wondering, well, how do I do that? Check out the first link in the description, sign up to the newsletter, and you'll get a series of emails that walk you through exactly how to do this. And as if the world wasn't unfair enough, there's also an ironic twist to this. Because as it turns out, if you address those internal obstacles, if you address the emotional pain and blockages that are making you an addict in the first place, if you heal, that will actually make you far more capable of succeeding with material things. And this is not that hard to understand if you really think about it, and if you observe what's happening in your own life. You're pursuing all of these goals and you're trying to build the right habits and have the discipline to do your workout program and to build your business and all this kind of stuff. And what happens, you're constantly in this loop, right? You're constantly in a loop of, you have a burst of motivation, you go super hard, and then everything falls apart and you're binging ice cream or something like that. And then you have a burst of motivation, you're back in the gym, and so on. And doing something like learning to trade or building a business or just building your career to make more money, you can easily tell that, first of all, if you're spending hours every day escaping the pain by scrolling through stuff, by consuming porn or vaping or doing whatever your addictions of choice are, you're wasting a lot of time that could be spent building something. And also, if you're constantly frying your dopamine receptors with all this stimulation, you can't sit still and pay attention and do focused work for any extended period of time, which makes it pretty much impossible to succeed. So most guys have this backwards. We're trying to escape our emotional pain and our unhealed wounds by becoming externally successful. And the Larry Wheels situation shows exactly why that doesn't work. And it's actually the other way around. If you heal your wounds, if you do the inner work first, that makes you more capable of succeeding in the external world. Leave a comment below with your thoughts on this situation and any takeaways you have from this video. And to learn more about what exactly I mean by healing, check out this video where I break down exactly what that means and how it works. And also, link in the description, sign up to get a free course in your inbox.